Good morning, everybody. I'm here this morning back from back on the grounds of the vicarage. It's late morning and I'm just getting ready to water the gardens and put in some tomato plants. I've got some pumpkins that need to be repotted, and I'm just going to spend some good time in the garden today, as well as some time doing some writing and praying. The desire to pray is growing in me daily, and while the work around the vicarage and the work of ministry calls and continually prods me forward, this place of prayer that God has me in is really something that I cannot neglect. It's part of what causes me to walk in this new blessedness that He's given me, and an understanding of what it means to be truly blessed by Him. And that's what we've been talking about over the last several episodes of Notes from the Vicarage. Is we've been talking about the blessedness that we have inherent within ourselves, and coming to understand what it means to be blessed. We've been talking about how sometimes we cannot live generous lives, or we cannot live lives that release blessing into the world because we don't understand that we're blessed ourselves. And so we've been talking about 7 mindsets that help to release blessing into our lives and help us to walk in the blessing and release the blessing into the world. And that's the real goal, is to be people who release blessing into the world around us. At some point, I may want to talk about what releasing the blessing really is. We want to go back to the book of Genesis and talk about the patriarchs and how they were given the power to bless. They were able to bless their families. They were able to bless their land, and they were able to bless the nations. And we want to talk about how that blessing now dwells inside of us through the power of God. We'll talk about that later. Right now, we want to talk about attitudes that help us to release blessing. Yesterday, we talked about the attitude of simplicity, and we talked about simplicity in the area of our stuff, the things we own, the things we have, and decluttering, because clutter blocks blessing. And so decluttering our lives, cleaning up our lives, organizing our stuff and getting rid of some of the stuff if we've got too much actually causes us to walk in blessing. And we talked about how decluttering our schedule can cause us to walk in blessing. Finding more time just to be rather than do can cause us to walk in blessing. But today, I want to talk about the third thing, which we really didn't get to talk about yesterday, which is simplicity in the area of our finances. We as Western Christians tend to live very complicated financial lives. And that is based around the idea of debt a lot of time for us. We live beyond our means, or we've learned over the course of several generations that it's okay to live beyond our means, to take out lots and lots of circulating debt, and to begin to buy things that we want but don't necessarily need. And that causes us, of course, to clutter our lives with stuff, or to clutter our lives, our schedules, with experiences that maybe help us to keep up with the Joneses, but don't necessarily help us to walk in any deeper blessing. So today I want to talk to us about beginning to live a simpler financial lifestyle. Listen, you're talking to a man who has walked through some very difficult financial times in his life. I've been to the bottom. I've never been to the top. And I'm learning to be okay with that. I'm currently living a lifestyle that is a lifestyle of faith, where I'm trusting God for my finances. And you know what? I'm finding that as long as I live small enough and live quiet enough, He provides my every need, and He really does. But I've had to get myself out of debt, and I've had to stop using credit cards, and basically I live a cash-only lifestyle, and I don't spend on a lot of big events. The last several vacations I've been on have been pretty much cash only. People have actually, relatives have actually given me the ability to go and have vacations. Otherwise, I would not have been able to go on those vacations, and so they've blessed me. But I did not take out huge credit in order to do those things. And so what I want to encourage you to do is, if you are living in a place of financial complexity, begin to work your way out of it. First of all, by stopping the circulating debt world, and living as much as possible on a cash basis. You know, I mean, we understand we've got house payments and car payments, but get a handle on the credit cards. Shut the credit cards down and begin to live a credit-free lifestyle as much as possible. Secondly, you need to work to get income free to give away. Money is a resource. Remember, it's not one of God's currencies. It's a tool that we're supposed to be able to use. Money is not supposed to flow into our lives and just build up and build up and build up and build up. Money is supposed to flow in. We're supposed to be able to receive with one hand and give with the other. And it works that way with all of the tools that God gives us. If we have a talent, we're not supposed to hoard that talent. We're supposed to give the talent away. It's the same with money. When we receive money, we are to give. The principle of tithing is important, not because it supports the church, but because it establishes in the individual the proper idea of what money is designed to do. If you can receive and give, if you're in that constant flow of receiving finances and giving out finances, however big or small, whether it's 60 cents a week or $6 million a week, then you're in the proper place. If, however, you've got money and you're saying, I can't give until I get a little more, then what you've got is you've got a problem with money, a lack of simplicity, a complex attitude towards money that is causing you to block your own blessing. So simplify your view of money and how you work with money, and begin to release the blessing in your life. Well, God bless for the day. Have a great one. Bye now.